Well, today, ooh, it's almost the spooky day. In like a month and some change. God, where has time flown? I tell you. After my birthday, it feels weird having... Also, it feels weird changing from 1.18 to 1.19 and back. There we go. I knew something was up. My hand's on the wrong side. Anyway, yeah, after my birthday, it's just like time goes bam, bam, bam. It's Halloween. Like, I don't know. It's wild. Anyway, how are you all today? Hey, Poncho Hamster. Hey, Dailydos. Hey, Raid. Hey, Jean-Pierre. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Squirtle. Where is Charmander and Bulbasaur? Anybody know what happened to those guys? So, yeah. Oh. I was a bit of a dumbass this morning. I guess I was too tired to realize what I was doing. I set the stream something or another to private. Like, I get why that's an option. I get why you can select that, but like, yikes. So I open up the stream to start everything up, and it's like no likes, no people waiting, no nothing. Nobody loves you. What are you doing with your life? And then I realized, I'm the dumbass because I'm the one who didn't. I didn't set it up properly. And well, what can you do? But hey, at least I figured out that I was the dumbass and it wasn't... Everybody had abandoned me and that everything was all for naught. No, it was just me. 'Twas just me. So yeah, how are you all otherwise, other than silliness? Ate them? What does ate them mean? Yeah, you made it, Gladbag. What does, what's ate them mean in this context? Oh well. So yeah. We're all good. You ate Bulbasaur and Charmander. I see what you mean. Sorry. I was on a different bit. I was like three lines of thinking down the road. I couldn't remember that. God. What is up with me lately? Like, my memory is just poopy. And I'm kind of getting tired of it. I really am. I've been putting it off for a while, but and I've been willingly putting it off. I have not been forgetting. I've been thinking about taking that Prevagen stuff. Because, like, this is going to sound very, like, paranoid-ish and, like, silly. But, so I was playing on the fan server yesterday. And, I think it was Crazy Alex mentioned, you know, hey, Jack, by, like, most people's standards, meaning, you know, your average Zoomer, you're kind of old now. And I stopped and thought, well, you know, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, I kind of am getting old now. Like, by that... Oh god, my fucking thing is going awful. Okay, yeah, hold on a sec. Okay, there we go. It bounced back. Very weird. Anyway, and so I was like, yeah, you know, I'm not young compared to, like, I'm almost double the age of some of my fans, and that's, like, weird. That's weird. I agree. It is strange, but I can't help who is here. So, like, doing the best that I can. Although, damn it, this thing is not improving. Hey, Syri. Okay. Problem solved. My bad. Everything's good. I hope. I hate it when that shit happens. Okay. There we go. All right. Now then. Am I hopping on the server tomorrow? Yeah. I'll be on. There's no reason not to be. So anyway, where was I? So yeah, whoever it was, I think it was Crazy Alex, mentioned that how much older that I am than everybody else, and I was like, you know, while that is not inherently a bad thing, I can't help it. Obviously, I will be, you know, whatever age I will be for the rest of my life as time goes on. But that, and this is ultimately what I'm getting at, I think it's time to invest in some kind of a supplement, and I've been seeing one for years, and I've been avoiding it on purpose. Prevagen. I've been thinking about it, and like, I used to have a very sharp mind. I used to be able to remember basically every facet of the day up until I hit my mid-20s. And I don't know why it changed, it just did. And it was really annoying, because I was like, yeah, I can remember what I did, this, that, and the other, and it was really nice to be able to remember things in stark detail. And now to not have that, it's just like, and I haven't had that for years now. And so I'm like, okay, if this Prevagen shit can actually deliver, because I've heard good things about it. So I'm thinking, you know, that might just be what I end up having to do. So hey, whatever. Sorry you're late, Void Shadow. Don't worry, you didn't miss anything. You missed the buffering and other shit. My mother was watching YouTube through the fucking TV. Really, really sad that that's an option. I can't stand the fact that you can do that now. It rapes the bandwidth. And, well, hopefully it will fix. I don't know. It's kind of spotty as it is already. I don't know why. I really wish tech would just, like, shape up. But, well, what can you do? So, yeah, Pop Bob hacked my... No, my mother was watching, YouTube videos through our smart TV. Really stupid stuff. I mean, what can you do, you know? People do silly things. And, boomers... They are very prone to doing very silly things. So, it's all good. It should improve now. But yeah, hey, Syri. And yeah, Bunny, I'll be on the server a little bit. I'm gonna try and get more sand laid out and get the pattern going for the draining. Because I'm making a The Drain-inspired build. You'll have to see it. It'll be really awesome. It'll be really, really cool. But anyway, have I seen the Space Valk rip-off, inspired build, whatever, on 9B? I have not seen it. So link it to me in the Discord. I wanna see what you're referring to. And yeah, I know, well timed. I start talking about getting old and the fucking internet dies. Really prophetic stuff, I tell you. But hey, whatever. It's all good. So yeah, hey Callum, how are you? Oh wait, fuck. Undo. Oh wait, shit. There we go. Okay, so yeah, copies here, and then I've got a, I think, stand right here. There we go. So yeah, that's just my issue. I will let you know if the Prevagen genuinely pays off in any meaningful way. I've also heard just as many things that it's a placebo. Whether or not that's true, who's to say? Okay. Fuck. Rotate -90. Paste. Paste that bitch in. There we go. That's what I want. So yeah, was she watching a stream? No, she was just watching some video about The Sims. She's an addict to The Sims, and yeah, fair enough. We've all got our vices. I'm in no position to critique said vices when it comes to, like, video games and stuff. But hey, you know, it's a wholesome hobby. I'd be genuinely worried if it were something worse. Oh, fuck. I think I've got to stand on this. Damn it. Okay. Fuck this bitch. I'm just gonna move you. Fucking stupid fingers. Work. There we go. Now then, would I ever make a Space Valk 4? No, I would probably not. At least not until 3 is finished. 6B, not 9B. I'm sorry. Yeah, the fucking knockoffs all run together, so, like, you can't blame me for going, is it this server or that knockoff? There are so many of them nowadays. How do you keep track of them all? I know I can't. But it's not like... I'm not against people making knockoffs or, like, inspired by kind of bases. I actually like that. It's really cool to see what people's takes on, say, Space Valk 1 or Space Valk 2. Everybody's always doing a Space Valk 3 type of ripoff, and, you know, that's fair enough, but, like, maybe do a Space Valk 1 inspired build instead every now and then. It's interesting when people give it a slightly, I don't know, a slightly more interesting twist. In my opinion, Space Valk 1... Oh, fuck. I see what I'm doing wrong. Okay. Yeah, it's rotating this direction. Okay, I was having a silly moment. There we go. Or, kind of. Am I just being... Oh. Oh, these don't even add up. No wonder. I was like, I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? Okay, cool. That's what I wanted. There we go. What is it reset every month? What is... Oh, you griefed to base by universe of a Space Valk-esque build. Yeah, but that was very Space Valk 3 inspired. Something more inspired by 1, or like literally any other. Like, nobody's done a Space Valk 2 replica or interpretation or something of that nature. I would like to see that. That would be pretty dope. And, like, I don't know, True Even Bedrock has an Anarchy realm that resets every month. 10-player limit. Good God. I guess it has to reset every month to answer your question, Syri, so that other people have the chance to actually play. Because, like, if it's 10-player because it's a realm, realms are bad for trying to host multiplayer anything, really. And trust me, I would know. But, like, it's okay if you don't know what you're doing. Which, yeah, when I was doing it, I didn't know what I was doing. So Realms was the perfect option. It was super, super cheap. It was, I mean, just one and done. Like, you didn't have to think about it at all. You're not able to control what exactly goes on, but, like, you can still moderate it if things get out of hand. So there's not, like, it's not the worst thing. But, like, for vanilla, it's not too bad. The only problem was that you could crash Realms super easily because, well, it has, like, no anti-cheat. So, like, any meaningful restrictions are basically non-existent apart from, like, spawn protection and then maybe a chat filter or two. That was it. So, like, yeah, Realms is pretty bad just all the way around. But, like, I suppose, like I said, if you don't know what you're doing, or you want a very, very, very limited multiplayer, like I said, 10 people, and that's it. Realms is about your only option, and it's not bad for that option specifically. It's just that most people want a bigger server with more bells and whistles, and Realms just can't offer that. But now it's Mojang run, and it's Mojang sponsored, so like your big problem now is chat reporting. You're going to have people who will troll Realms on an Anarchy Realms, if that's even legal anymore, and you're going to have people who are reporting people. So, like, the fuck do you even do? I don't know that that's even doable anymore. Hey, Sam, how are you? Make an interpretation replica of the Dirt Hut. Motherfucker, why are you... This thing is being weird. At first I thought I was going crazy. Now I think it's this thing. Rotate 90. This should be over here. What is wrong with this? No. What the hell? How is that not positive 90? Or no, that would be negative, wouldn't it? Yeah, because positive is always right-hand clockwise, rather. Okay. I guess I'm just having a senior moment. I don't fucking know. I'm tired from work. That's the excuse I'll use. I'm tired from work. Whoops. I didn't even rotate that one that time. There we go. Now then, 6B is Bedrock Java compatible. Ooh, yuck. Why? Why are they Bedrock compatible? Shit, fuck, I did something wrong. I can't stand the idea of Bedrock playing on Java. Okay, something is... Well, no, I guess the proportions are right. How did I mess... Well, maybe I didn't. 2 blocks. 2 blocks. 2, 2... Okay. Yeah. Everything is fine. I don't know. I guess I'm just going crazy or some shit. Oh well. Hey, jump here. Oh wait, sorry. You're talking to Jack Boy. Jack Boy, change your name. I hate it when other people have Jack in my stream. As a name. Like, I don't... Like, nothing against you, but, like, it confuses me. People talk to people named Jack and they're not me. I get confused. Sorry about that, but it's like, it's getting to the point where it's becoming a bother. Now wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. So there was something wrong. But how? It looks that it's off center. That explains it. I thought something was retarded. Okay, I see now. Going this way, it's longer. Well, actually... Well, you know what Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. You know what, I might keep it that way. I kind of like that. It's longer this direction, then it would be longer this direction. Okay. I knew something was up. I didn't realize I had pasted this at an odd angle to where there's a gap here where there was not as big a gap here. I don't know. Part of my OCD is like, no, it's got to be even. It's got to be even. Go back and fix it. Jackboy 317. I don't know. Hey, Stone Cold Killer. You noticed was off center a while ago. You didn't tell me to enjoy my confusion. Wow. You're a true fan, Syrie. Thank you. You were just so helpful. I appreciate it tremendously. Okay, let's stack this 3. But thank you for letting me be confused. I'm just... Oh, I love being absolutely bum-fizzled. It just fills me with joy to know that someone would allow me to continue to be confused. But no, seriously, I must genuinely be somewhat tired from work to have not noticed that. Especially as I was making it. Hey, Gamma Neptune. Popo Bros? Popo Bros? What? I know you're trying to make a Pop Bob thing, but like, what? Pop Bob Ross? Like, no. That didn't work, I'm sorry. That is a, that is a not good pun. Like, you're gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that one. Ooh, I'll just move this back down one more. Okay, good. 4 out of 10? What do you mean? Jack did an oopsie and said it's a happy accident. Well, it is something of a happy accident. And it is an oopsie, I won't lie. Oh, wait, there's a gap here. No gap here. I mean, to be fair, a happy accident is at least a somewhat fortuitous event. Okay. I have no idea where I'm going with this. Oh, whoops. Get out of the way, shrub. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have it framed like this, and then put that there. Yeah, it looks good. Why not? But still very enjoyable, special for newbies finding anarchy. Yeah, I suppose so. It is sort of like a kiddie's pool, but for anarchy. I don't know. The 2B2T kiddie pool. What would that look like? Like a really, really tiny Anarchy server, I guess, yeah. That's the only reasonable explanation I can think of. Jack the 2B2T Bob Ross. I guess. I suppose that's a better title than most. Like, a lot of people don't get a good, you know, reputation because of the dumb shit they've done. So yeah. Oh, hey, Quasi-Stellar. How are you? Hadn't seen you here in a hot minute. Oh, yeah. Campus Wi-Fi sucks. The stream is barely loading for you on 144. Oh, holy shit. Dude. I feel for you. I really do. Oh, god damn it. Not again. Please, please no. You know, you were just talking about 144p, and I think you jinxed me, Spingeville. I genuinely think you've made everything worse. Just very momentarily. Although it's still saying that YouTube's not receiving enough bullshit. So I don't know. Might just have to do a short stream tonight. Doing awesome. F? Yeah, I know. If Jack is Bob Ross, then Jared is, who's that guy with the flex tape? Oh, yeah. The guy who saws through and destroys everything. Oh, that's a lot of damage, yeah. Yeah, I suppose that would be Jared, but, like, I don't know. Jared destroyed for the sake of destruction. He didn't flex tape or flex seal things back together. Jared would only destroy. No, I don't think that's right. I think Jared is more of a... Who's someone known for destruction? For, like, shredding and destroying things? What's a known public figure in, like... Maybe not meme culture, but, you know... Somewhat well-known who destroys shit. The Juggernaut? Wreck-It Ralph? I don't know. I was thinking more of a real-life person. And less of a cartoon and or comic book character. I can't think of a good analogy for, like, someone who destroys. Known for destroying. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Oh, you gave me some ad revenue. Well, thank you, Sam. I hate to tell you this, though. That is only, like, 2/10 or 2/100ths of a cent. It's like nothing for one person to watch an ad. That's why I don't say, hey, guys, watch ads to help support me. That's why I don't say that. Because it does nothing. I need thousands and thousands and thousands of people to watch an ad to be meaningfully reimbursed, or I guess not reimbursed, but to be meaningfully immersed by that, yeah. Otherwise, I would just meaningfully burst into flames. Because there's no real middle ground with YouTube. You're either doing something great or you're not, and that's just how it is. And well, I guess I'll do fine. I really wish there was an option to just be doing okay. But there ain't. Okay, well, actually, I want... Well, no, I'll keep that one unique. Ah. Yes, I like that better. Oh, fuck. Hate it when that happens. Charlie Chapman? Or Chaplin? I knew who you meant. Yeah, actually, that's fun. Well, no, I don't know. Charlie Chaplin didn't destroy things on purpose. He was just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every day. His whole life was in many ways the wrong place at the wrong time. Also, I saw a documentary on Charlie Chaplin. He was pretty badass. So I don't know. I don't think there's a good figure that like properly represents Jared. Like apart from Jared himself. I guess in a lot of ways you could argue Jared is just, he's too unique to be like adequately captured by an internet celebrity or a personality of some kind. And to that I would agree. He's very interesting, shall we say. Jackstream casually serious. That's why you love it. Vibrant heart. Well, thank you, Gamu. Okay. Now, I've got an... I guess I've got a rectangle and not a perfect square. See, that side's 13. This side's 13. No, I do have a square. Interesting. Okay. I've got a square that's like slightly off in two unique directions. But this is still technically the center. That's weird. That doesn't look like the center to me, but it's throwing off my... It's damaging my lizard brain. I can tell. Are we on the right Y plane? Yes, we are. Okay. Okay, well, whatever. Cylinder. Quartz. 10. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, I gotta mark the center point just so that I don't lose track of where I am. You know, I kind of like that. This corner is different from this corner, which is this corner again, which is different from this corner again. Yeah, it kind of fits. It's kind of okay. Now, I know there's nothing in there yet, so I don't like the idea of you being able to see in there, but that's just because there's nothing in there yet. Later on, I will be fine with it. Probably. Jared probably griefed more than Pop-Up. Oh, I know. Jared, unironically, has, like, outperformed Pop-Bob in every meaningful way as a troll and as a griefer. And, like, it's really funny because Pop-Bob kind of gave up partway. Pop-Bob really stopped playing during the Russia War and after. And so that's, you know, there's actually been, as though this isn't, this is weird just saying. Even thinking it, it's strange. There has been more time in 2B2T's span of existence post-Rusher than there has been pre-Rusher now. Let me clarify that. Let me say that again. 2B2T has been around longer in the post-Rusher era than it ever existed in the pre-Rusher era. And I knew this day would come. But God, is it horrible to think about. I mean, I think, what was it, June 2016? Yeah, it was June 1st, 2016, I guess is the start of the Russia era. So, that's almost 6 years. Because so it was December 2010 to December 2016 would have been the first 6 years. And then it's been 6 years since the Russia War started. So yeah, the Russia War on funny enough, this past June the 1st, that marked 2B2T officially being eclipsed as having been in the post-Rusher era. Meaning we have now spent more time post-Rusher than 2B2T existing pre-Rusher. And that feels so weird to say. But like, yeah, that's where we are now. Oh shit, undo. Rotate. There we go. Yeah, straight up terrorist leader is the only person you can think of? Yes. Jared is very much a terrorist leader. But in like a slightly less terroristic way. It's gonna sound weird. I mean, he's very terroristic. In a lot of ways, it's probably a good thing that he's stuck on 2B2T and not like wreaking havoc in the real world, because, you know, if he's busy griefing people's bases on 2B2T, I mean, how many people would have fallen victim to him IRL? You know? If he's a troll on 2B2T and not an actual IRL terrorist, then hey, that's kind of a win, isn't it? I mean, maybe not for Jared, but for the rest of humanity. You know, we ended up kind of lucking out on that way, didn't we? Yeah, I know that is something real, Ani. Probably the only reason Pop-Up is more well-known is because he killed... I think it's more due to his antics pre-Rusher. But yeah, as I was saying originally, the reason Jared's a bigger, badder griefer than Pop Bob is because, like I just said, we've had more time in the post-Rusher era than in the pre-Rusher era now, and since Pop pretty well quit at the start of the Rusher War, when it became obvious there was no chance for the older players to reasonably outnumber the Rushers. Yeah, when that happened, like, he quit. He gave up. And so that gave Jared basically the advantage. It was, if it's a raw numbers game anyway, in terms of how many bases one has griefed. Yeah, in terms of raw numbers and like the amount of disinformation and the amount of backstabbing and all the other shit Jared has done. Yeah, he's had more time, because he's still stuck on 2B2T from what I understand. He's just had more time to do it than Pop Bob. So I wouldn't be surprised if history will probably never forget Pop, but it will probably put Jared at a higher threat level. You know? Jared will be remembered with a greater intensity. Because inevitably, if Pop Bob's not there to refresh and maintain the fear that his name gave, you know, it would naturally ebb over time. And I don't know, it's kind of like, you don't water a cactus. Sure, it can last a while, but even a cactus will die from lack of water. And that's kind of how reputations can be. If you are of a certain level of infamy, people will steadily forget, even if it takes like a generation. Because like that's the real irony here. The real like, holy shit, I just got smacked in the mouth with realization. A new generation of people are going to start joining 2B2T. No, actually, let's go 16. Because like, think about it. How many young kids play 2B2T? I know that's a horrifying thought, but like, how many? And I mean like 10 and under. I don't know. That number's probably only going to increase. And then as those kids stop being, you know, kids and they start growing into teens, like how many of them are going to start on 2B2T? And see, they won't be Zoomers. The people who are currently, they're young kids. They're like, I want to say under the age of 10. They're not Zoomers anymore. They're Generation Alpha now. So like the next generation is poised to take 2B2T. It probably still won't happen for another 4 or 5 years, but like it's gonna. That's a scary thought too. Because all of you will be in your early to mid 20s by that point, all you Zoomers. Like, there will not be a Zoomer who isn't in their 20s by that point. You're going to be just like us millennials were about 10 years ago. Crazy, isn't it? How everything is so cyclical. 2BTT is never going to happen again, even though the YouTube trend tried and succeeded to revive it. It doesn't feel the same. No, yeah, it's a heartless, soulless monstrosity now. 2BTT will never... There will never be another 2B2T, I hate to say. It's sad, but it is the truth. There are just too many factors that would kind of stop it dead in its tracks, you know? And yeah, that's just how it is. Maybe someday we will get... I don't know. Some sort of hightail equivalent, maybe? What kind of kid is willing to wait hours in the queue to play Minecraft? You'd be surprised. Honestly, you would be. Kids are smarter than people give them credit for. I wouldn't be surprised if kids bought it and they bought their way through the queue, and they buy into some sort of a service and they go from there. It's hard to say exactly if that's happening. Jack's Palace is the next 2B... No, it is not, Jean-Pierre. Jack's Palace is not 2B2T. Thousands play Fallen Vanilla Anarchy, but mostly are 12 to 16. Oh, man. 12 to 16. That is the worst age group. Because, like, those people do not know how to act. And you almost can't rehabilitate them. Because they are too immature. That is some sad shit. But, oh well. That was kind of 2B2T's early demographic as well. So, I mean, if anything, that's just history repeating itself. Oh, fuck. This didn't go as far as I expected. Was it not 16? Let's try 18. Okay, that's too far. Okay, that's a little better. 2BTT is the game where you play it 5 years ago and get nostalgic thinking about it, and then you go back and it's basically, and you go back on it basically the same? You mean you're the same? I don't know. What was Jared like? Yeah, he was about 12 years old when he started. X0 XP and a few others were that young too. And then you had a bunch of 15, 16, and 17-year-olds who were all in high school, and they were going through the depression of puberty, and they like hated the server because it ate their lives, and they didn't know how to manage it. And so they were like, oh, shut down the server, house, kill the server, we want to be free. And I was just like, no. Learn how to fucking quit. Learn how to let go. I'm so glad I found 2B2T when I was already in my 20s. I can't imagine having found it any earlier. Oh, the game is the same. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same style of backstab everybody, network, inside, clout chase, you know, all that shit. Stash raid, stash hunt, base hunt, all that. 12 constantly surprised by the things people said with no shame. Oh, phew. I mean, that's just how it is, I guess. You hated your 12 to 16-year-old self, so I don't blame you, Sponge Bill. I don't blame you. That's how most people are. They come to loathe who they were, but if you're lucky, as you get a little bit older, you will come to love who you are, who you have become. Now that takes a bit of adjustment. Hey, universe, and how are you? It takes a bit of adapting, but you'll get there. Don't give up on yourself. You will come to forgive your old 12 to 16-year-old self. Tristan was young? Yes, Tristan was also very young. I was surprised to find that he was like 13 or 14. He was also too young to be on 2v2t, realistically. I wish there had been a way to enforce an 18-year or older policy of some kind, but that just wasn't feasible. You like 2v2t, but you're only observed and will never interact? Yeah, I don't blame you, Gamu. It's one of those things that for now, it's best to just watch from a distance. Because it doesn't have anything good on it that's, like, worth your time. And I wish that wasn't the case. I wish it was how it used to be. But sadly, we all have to move on. Like, life doesn't slow down just because we've changed. And that's just the long and short of it. It is sad, Jean-Pierre, it is. It is both sad that people find a place like 2b2t so young, and they are without supervision of any kind, and that it changes them. And, like, I would like to have met a Tristan that never met, or that never found their way to 2b2t. Hey, Exodus, you're back. Welcome. WB, my friend. WB. But yeah, I would have loved to have met an Tristan that had no idea what 2b2t was. Oh, fuck. But sadly, that's just not how it is. Temp maps were good for meeting people. Were they ever? I hated how they would take me away from my base, but it also made for interesting conversation and experiences, because you never knew what you'd run into on a temp map, or who you'd run into. And so it would teach you to be kind of like more open-minded of groups of people and just everybody else in general, really. Valkyria was formed because we ended up going to a weird, unexpected temp map. And yeah, it was a good thing. Been a while. University's kicked your ass. Oh, I don't blame you. Sorry to hear that, Isaac, but I understand. How's life going? It's not too bad. I kind of banged my toe up the other day, about a week ago. And it's slowly recovering. It's been bleeding a bit, but it's getting back to a normal. So I don't know. I swear, kids being allowed on certain places in the web contributed to so much stupidity. Yeah. I think it was genuinely fine when I was young, because the internet was such a different place when I was young. The internet was so much more of the Wild West, but like, it was a Wild West in a different sort of way. Nowadays, it's a Wild West in a lot of really bad ways, like ideologically. You'll have crazies who try to rope you into their craziness, and a young kid is not going to know, this is crazy I'm dealing with. I shouldn't interact with it. I shouldn't engage with them. Like, you know how children are very quick to react, or like they wear their emotions on their sleeves? You insult them and they immediately flare up and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can't do that on the modern internet. You have to play your cards very close to your vest. And if you're not careful, it'll come back to hurt you. Different people go to 2BDT for different things. You came and stayed on it for something you can't find anymore, but someone like XE Student, yeah, he still enjoys what he's into. I gotta wonder how much longer he'll be able to find that. But I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, man. Oh. The yawning is starting. I'm so sorry for yawning, but it is uncontrollable. Back in 2013, you played Minecraft local PS3 rental and played your classmates on a LAN server. Wow. That is some old school stuff, Gamu. Made your base in Greece, others like Anarchy with no cheat. Ah. Well, I mean, that sounds pretty awesome. You probably had a lot of fun. Half of Twitter believing conspiracy. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the kind of, like... It would be detrimental for anyone not sufficiently developed mentally and emotionally to be exposed to that shit simply because they will not be able to distinguish truth from reality. Hell, even regular grown adults like me have a hard time figuring out what is real and what isn't, simply because there's just so much information out there. It's, by law of averages, some of it's not going to be true. And so it's up to you. You know, you got to do your due diligence to figure out what is real and what isn't. And an adult that is experienced in doing that, yeah, you may have a little bit of trouble here and there, but you're by and large, you're not going to be shook up by getting it wrong. But a kid will be. Children are so unstable and influential. They're so easy to change, both for the good and for the bad. And there's a lot of crazy out there, like on Twitter, like on Facebook, like on where have you, YouTube. Like, I've still, to this day, this was a big debacle. The Spider-Man Elsa bullshit, like, I've still not seen a good explanation as to what the hell that was all about. Other than that it was A, part child exploitation, B, really lucrative for the channels running that little racket, and C, surprisingly wholesome. Like, some of it wasn't, but some of it was. I get the feeling that some of these people were, like, genuinely trying to do something good for kids. And, like, then we got the hellscape that is YouTube Kids that spun off from it. So, like, I don't know. It's not good. Like, there's no telling how many kids have been groomed in places like YouTube that they shouldn't have been. Simply because they were never given the appropriate, you know, supervision. And that just a little bit could have gone a long way. And you have crazies like X0XP who have... I mean, it's a wonder he's even alive. So I don't know. Oh man, I hope that was... Nope. Not centered. So yeah. It's just the tragedy of the modern world. And the tragedies of, like, every world, every civilization, everyone, everywhere has some form of a tragedy that they can never, like, fully deal with. For a lot of the ancient world, it was slavery, or mass poverty, or mass famine, or something like that. But for the, oh, what? There we go. For the modern world, it is basically poisoning of the mind when you get right down to it. Mental poisoning. Because, like, in a society and in an environment where you have access to so much information and it's impossible to moderate and really, like, make it all make sense, yeah, it's only natural you're gonna have a lot of problems that arise from that. I don't want to be governed by the people who grow up in a world like that, because they're gonna be fucking crazy, and inevitably they're gonna inherit the world. So, like, do you want the Zoomer that grew up on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter? Do you want them at the reins of power? Because that's going to happen one day. Here's hoping they sort themselves out and are better people by the time that happens. But, I don't know. Half of Twitter believing conspiracy. Yeah, exactly. You used to have some older accounts or personalities on the internet, but you basically ditched them and the friends you made. Really? Why? You should just consider dropping this one. Really? Don't do that, honey. Remember, there was a point where a lot of bots with hundreds of thousands copying the name of a popular YouTuber. Yeah, that was a viable strategy there for a hot minute. Just because that would get a lot of the automated searches. I don't know if any of that's really been dealt with, but... Oh well, what can you do? Do you know, has it ever been guessed what Pop Bob's age was? He was like 22. When I was like 25-ish? So he should be hitting 30 real shortly, if he isn't already. I don't have confirmation on that, so like, use that what you will. But I couldn't... I can't say he's like super old, but he's not like... He's not a Zoomer, basically. Like, if you were hoping for Pop Bob to be a Zoomer, I got news for you. He ain't in y'all's generation. He is unfortunately stuck in my generation. But, you know, whatever. Could be worse, I guess. At least my generation doesn't have the likes of Jared from Subway and other unsavory individuals. At least that we know of. Gotta preface that. That we know of. I'm sure there are very, very many of them. Oh wait, shit, I did that wrong. Going to sleep, feel your eyes gonna pop out of your skull. Take care, Exotic Bunny. You have a good one, man. You have a random question about something a GT player doesn't want to... Okay, yeah, go right ahead, Mr. Tree. Jack Mr. Tree, very funny. Ask away, Tree Man. What you got for me? Now it better not be half-baked. I sure hope you're not smoking those trees. And that's the reason why your name is Mr. Tree. Me and a guy in class were talking about how you were born in the wrong generation. Oh, Void Shadow, I feel so sorry for you. A lot of Zoomers have that feeling because they realize what a shit show their generation has become. Because they've been neglectfully raised by me, by Generation X and the what few baby boomers had children very late, and by I guess what few millennials had children very early. That's it. And yeah, I don't blame you. Your generation has been shafted in many ways. But it's not all bad. Yeah, it's bad. But just know that no matter how bad your generation is, it can get better. But you all have to want to get better. So, I don't know. Good luck. At least for now, you realize things aren't great. And that it could use with some improvement. So, like, there you go. That's some room to maybe try and achieve something. Like, I don't like thinking that everything in the world is just the worst. And that it's just always going to be the worst ever, forever and ever. If enough people from that generation go, gee, this sucks, let's change. Let's do something about it. It could very well change for the better. So I don't want to say that Gen Z is worthless or that you've got nothing. It may just be that you have to fix yourselves before your lives are better. And that you will have a lot of trouble until you do. You will struggle with depression. You will struggle with meaninglessness. You won't know what to do with yourself. You won't know how to live properly. And you know, fair enough, that is pretty bad. That's something that you do have to kind of be taught. But that you can eventually figure it out. You may have to stumble along the way, but you can do it. Anyway, In one of Fitt's videos, he mentioned that 2B2T player said something that made the FBI visit his house. Oh, he made a death threat against Obama. That was Polly the Parrot. I remember that. That was funny as shit. Cause like he had to, he got a light slap on the wrist. They didn't do anything bad to him. But death threats against a sitting president, no matter who it is generally frowned upon by the powers that be, and they tend to do stuff about that, like call the FBI and so on. Now, to be fair, Polly the Parrot had been doxxed, and so, yeah, reasonably, you know, you could go up to his house and make him answer for that. And as far as I know, that's exactly what they did. They made him go, Mr. the Parrot, is this you? And he's like, ah, shit. And yeah, that was the end of it. He just had to like do community service, I think, or something like that. The only reason Fit didn't say is just because he's a YouTuber. He didn't want to repeat that. But like, that is such milquetoast lame bullshit. When Trump was in power, people made death threats against him all the time. And I'm sure the FBI and others had to act on those as though they were credible. Because I think that's standard operating procedure or whatever. But like, anyone can make a death threat. 9 times out of 10, it is worthless. It's not likely you're going to try to act on it. And if you really were going to try to assassinate a sitting president, would you be yelling about it on social media or in a fucking block game? Come on. Come on. The only reason Polly had the FBI visit him was because, again, he was doxxed. Someone saw that and went, ha ha ha, I can inconvenience Mr. the Parrot. And remember, that was the generation, the ancient fags, as we call them. Those were the high school kids who joined in 2011, 2010, and hated the server and each other, and were all too eager to get one over on each other at any cost. These were the people screaming, House, House, shut down the server, House, end it. House, the server has eaten my life. House, I can't deal. These were the people who couldn't really function because they were basically idiots. And to be fair, 2B2T in its early days was a quite addictive experience. But it could be dealt with. It just took some self-control, really. And well, like I said, you know, if people know who you are, they might just try to take up any opportunity they can, especially in a nasty environment like 2B2T, to mess with you. Like, duh. I mean, look at what happened to Chris Layton. That's just the textbook example. Damn good homework. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad you finished your homework, Poncho. Now you can play until you get your next bit of homework. Wow, you expect he shared some classified info or something? No. No. Nobody on 2B2T has access to anything of any serious note. In terms of, like... Well, yeah, shit like classified info. Nobody has that. Nobody on 2B2T was ever a big shot or, like, a genuinely powerful person in the real world or had some level of, like, special clearance or any of that. No. Everybody on 2B2T was a shit poster with some sort of ego. Myself included. The only difference is some of us had come to terms with it and moved on. Others may not necessarily have come to terms with it, but may have still moved on. And some of us are still trapped there doing whatever it is they do. I suppose there are worse fates in the world. Like living in Africa. Or having no passport in a third world country, having it stolen from you. There was a wannabe gangster who threatened your school and went and going to shoot someone in school. Long story short, his buddy asked him to smoke weed and he got away with it. But he did go to mental reform. Wow. Interesting. Did he have any sort of like record or the previous criminal activity or behavior or some shit like that? Because they tend to look at stuff like that, and if you're a young kid and you've not done anything bad before, they tend to be a little more lenient. They'll punish you, but they won't be so bad about it. Though it depends. Oh, going to bed. Take care, Void Shadow. Thanks for coming out, man. School shooting threat at your school, and 2 kids ended up getting arrested and charged with felonies. Yeah. Yeah, they looked at them and said, aha, you are... They probably had intent. That's the thing. That's probably why they charged them with a felony. They got found out and also were like blindingly obviously going to do it. Like beyond a questionable doubt. They tend to be very, very like throw the book at them about that type of thing. As they rightly should. Because like in the wake of events like, I mean, just recent shootings, not to mention very famous school shootings, in the wake of stuff like that, yeah, people are super on edge. Like, you can't joke about that stuff. And I don't blame them. People have lost loved ones from that, and, you know, fair enough. So, like, well, what can you do? I guess you cannot joke about or threaten a school shooting. Okay. Did that do it? I guess that's okay. I didn't want it to be 2 layers. I only wanted it to be 1. Actually, yeah, let's undo it. And then I'll go down lower so that it is just 1 layer. Perfect. Anyway, the cops didn't find the gun. Ah, yeah. He was troubled, had a record. Yep, girlfriend wanted to school. Yep. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad she warned everybody before it became a travesty. And of course, she defended him because she loves him and all that. And that's how some girls are. They don't think, they feel. And you can't afford to do that. Especially not in this day and age. Thinking is absolutely mandatory nowadays. You cannot afford, people cannot afford to feel their way through situations in this world. Not anymore. Because that'll get you killed so quickly, or it'll get you in trouble, it'll ruin your life, basically. You need to have a well thought out plan for things. Lest you get absolutely destroyed by a technicality or some such. Don't think the cops cared about the weed. At this point, weed is like such a non-issue. Yeah, it was a problem once upon a time, but like... Weed is regarded as like... How do I put this nicely? It's poor people drugs. And at this point, poor people drugs are not considered of enough import to actually bother using the police time with. It's still a terrible drug. It should not be allowed, but it has been so advocated for and heckled for that, like, you can't turn your head without seeing it or smelling it or whatever. And it still ruins people's lives. Like, weed is not good. I don't know where people got the idea that it's A-okay. It just ruins your life in a different way. I'm so glad I never got on any of that stuff. I never got into alcohol or any of the stuff that I have seen destroy some people's lives. I knew a guy when I was in elementary school. I think I've told this story before. He was in the Apex program, which was basically a gifted kids, thing. And I was good friends with him, and I almost got into the gifted kids program myself. I think I screwed up on their tests or whatever, and I was only given one shot or whatever. And then the next year we all graduated and went on to middle school, and then the middle school didn't have a gifted kids program, which was ironic as fuck, and all the gifted kids were mixed in with everybody else, and that was basically the end of it. So it was really ironic. But I do remember that one of those guys, as we all started hitting puberty and we were in middle school, and there was the peer pressure, there were there was a lot of issues. And long story short, this one guy who was legitimately gifted, he was a good guy, he was cool, he was fun, and probably had a very bright future ahead of him. And I lost track of him in middle school. We ended up getting separated and going to different middle schools. And then we ended up getting back together in the same high school about three-ish years later. We graduated middle school and obviously went on to high school. And the 3 or 4 middle schools in the area all funneled into the same high school. And so I got to see him 3 or 4 years later. Had forgotten he existed. And then I remembered, because that we hung out in elementary, and I was like, oh yeah, you're that guy. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember you too. Yeah, he was an alcoholic by that point. And I was just like, holy fucking shit, what happened to you? He wasn't anything like what he was when he was in the gifted program in elementary. It just, stuff like that ruins people. Even caffeine, which is the tamest of all the unnecessary substances that you can take into your body, even caffeine can destroy you if you let it. It just takes a lot of it. Usually it's not habit forming, though it can be. And it's just that shit shocked the hell out of me when I met him again after several years. Because it was there was such a big change in his demeanor. And I chalked it up to him being, we were older, we were in puberty at that point. Teens are... A teen versus how that person was as a kid. Children tend to be more happy-go-lucky. And kids are kids. But yeah, it was a night and day difference with him. I'll never forget that. And then I ended up moving halfway through high school, and I live where I live now, and I never saw him again. And I hope he got sober. I hope he was able to wrestle some control back into his life or whatever. Yeah, that's why you don't do drugs. You're right, Mr. Jack Tree. Totally agree with thinking being mandatory nowadays, even in video games. Is that people focus too much on metagaming instead of just doing what they enjoy? Well, no, that wasn't what I was getting at. Gaming wasn't really what I was getting into. I was talking real life trouble. You have to consider your actions and consider your thoughts, especially your words. Everybody is out to stab everybody in the back these days. There's no trust. Trust is at an all-time low. People do not readily give each other the benefit of the doubt. There is an active current of people who do not like the way society is and are trying to undermine society, and that's going to cause more harm than good. And they just don't see it. They don't care either. And I feel bad for them because they're gonna get a bad. Their bubble burst is coming. Feel like my tone changed. Yeah, it really did struck me back then, Ani. It really did. I was sad for him. I really was. But when he was talking about how he would get drunk at parties, and that was all he would think about is getting drunk, and I was like, oh my god, he's an alcoholic, because that's a textbook definition right there. I was just like, dude. And I stopped talking to him too. That was the other thing, because I was good friends with him. He was fun to hang out with and talk to, and he was not anything like what he was. And I was just like, if I don't separate myself, I will get caught up in that. And so I stopped, you know. Never saw him again. But hey, enough of that. I don't want to get too depressing. It could be worse. I could have ended up like him. But as far as I know, I'm alright. Brain problems notwithstanding. Okay. Did I make this 20 or 24? Oh, 24. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I move these up to where they're even? Probably not. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, let me focus on something else. Anyway, yeah, you remind me of the name you're going to change back now? Oh yeah. Well, thank you for still being Mr. Tree, if nothing else. Did 9/11 affect more than just America? It did affect international travel, and it did affect how we board planes nowadays. It changed a lot, actually. It changed a lot of policy. It changed a lot of what the authorities look for. And not just in America, in Europe, parts of Africa. You know, spots that are prone to certain ethnicities and religious organizations saying certain words and then spontaneously combusting. The war on Western civilization that nobody would ever dare to recognize. That was a dark time. It's still going on, but it's way more played down now. Simply because, like, the same tactic doesn't work twice. Like, there will never be another 9/11. And that's simply because the same tactic does not work twice. They would do it again if it would work twice, but it won't. People are too vigilant now. People know what to look for. People know, you know, they won't recognize or admit that there is a group of people who hate Western culture and are, you know, eager to stamp it out at every turn. But they probably won't allow another tragedy like that to occur. Mostly just because it looks bad. Not even that they care about the people who would be killed by said tragedy, but that it's more of a, ooh, yuck. Why didn't you do something about that? Boy, that makes you look terrible as a leader. And yeah, it would. It would look awful if another 9/11 occurred. Which is precisely why they won't let it happen. And that's good. I wouldn't want another one to happen. But we won't. We've seen a giant transition in how people are treated, basically. And who knows, maybe it will revert back to the way it was, maybe it never will. I personally don't think it'll ever go back. I got to see the world in the 90s before all this. And it was a different time and place. It was almost a different culture. Everybody had a different attitude. You could just walk onto a plane. You could just go up, show your ticket, and just walk onto a plane. Bam, like that. No searching. No X-ray machine, none of that. It was just bing, bang, boom, you're in and you're out. It was unreal. And I really do not think we will ever see that kind of just laissez-faire. Oh, here's your such and such, sir. Okay, here you go, bye. I just don't think that'll ever happen again. And you know, I mean, at this point, who do we have to blame other than ourselves? Because, like, we were promised that that shit was going to be temporary. I distinctly remember hearing, oh yeah, you know, these new policies, they're just going to be for a while. A while. If a while is a century, then yes. I mean, that is technically a while, isn't it? So who the fuck knows? 9/11 was absolutely terrible, predominantly because of how it changed the culture and how everybody's attitudes necessarily had to change. And that, you know, the thing of it is, when you provoke an action or you hurt someone or you cause a trouble of some kind, when trouble occurs, be it an international trouble, an incident of some kind, you know, something like that. When that happens, people go on high alert. And they go on high alert basically for several generations. And there's no diffusing that. Especially when the thing or the event or the people that caused the high alert in the first place, when that problem is solved, or at least it is diminished in power, people don't wind back down. You know? It's easy to go to war. It's hard to find the peace at the light at the end of the tunnel. It's nearly impossible to go back to the mindset of the pre-war days, the pre-strife, the pre-accident, the pre-incident. Like, I'm sure eventually there will be a similar feeling to pre-9/11 America again. But that is going to be a very, very long time from now. And most of you don't even know what that was like, simply because you either were not born or you were too young to remember. And like, that's fine for you. You never knew an era in which this was the case. But for the rest of us who lived in that era and can actively remember when things were nicer and people were on the whole happier, and just like things didn't feel as shitty, things didn't feel as oppressed and as doomy and gloomy, you know? There's so much doom and gloom now that just did not exist in the 90s. It just didn't. And yeah, it will probably come back around again, but not for a very long time. So who knows? Who the fuck knows? It'll probably be precisely because of people like you all, funny enough, that we end up going back to that older mindset of everything's cool, man. Everything's good. That pre-9/11 America style or feeling. Precisely because there will be a lot of people who will never have known that, and they will have lived under this stress, high-tension society, and they will grow so tired of it, and they will despise it, and that will cause people to want to de-escalate it a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit, and decade after decade, it will slowly ebb off, and things will cool down again, and people will go back to that type of attitude, but it will not be an overnight thing. It will be, you know, here, there, little bit, and then the next thing you know, it'll be equivalent to how it was pre-9/11. But again, that'll take decades. No, I'm saying if it happened anywhere that isn't America, nobody would have cared. Yeah, probably. You're probably so. Yeah, that change would not have happened. You're right. You're right, Mr. Tree. No, that would not have affected anything. But like, I don't know. I can't say for sure. Maybe life will get a little bit better. And that we will slowly escalate, or not escalate, de-escalate everything. My bad. Ah, well. Thought you were gonna miss it? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm always here, Xtoy. Okay. Let's go down by 3. Yeah, 3. Anyway, so let's get off this topic. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. God, I just went from one depressing topic to another, didn't I? Anyway. Okay, how did I manage to beat Sato on PvP? Oh, that's a good one. The devil's own luck. That's how I managed that. I had no right to win that PvP fight. And at the time, I didn't know it. And then when I killed Sato, you know what it was? It was his Brazilian internet that killed him. It wasn't me. I was the one doing the whacking, of course. But that it was precisely because his internet crapped out on him and he could not eat a god apple quick enough to not die. That's why he died and I won that fight. But when he died, he exploded like a motherfucking piñata. I got so many goodies off of his corpse. More so than I had ever seen up to that point in 2B2T history. Now, to be fair, I'd only been on 2B2T a year and some change by that time. But that, you know, holy shit, 4 stacks of god apples? I was scrounging around during the book hacks, killing pigmen, just to get 1 stack of god apples. And here this motherfucker had stacks of god apples, stacks of beacons, 2 full sets of god armor, a god sword, a god bow, all the other tools at maximum enchant, and just like an absurd level of... And he was new. That's the thing. Sato was very clearly new. I'd never seen him before. He'd only been on the server maybe 5 months by that point, from what I understand. And so I was like, who the fuck is this? Why does he have so much stuff? And how in the hell did I not die? Because back in those days, it was how much armor you brought to a fight that was determinative of who won. It was a battle of attrition, and the person with the most armor was going to win. 100% hands down, unless the internet had something to say about it. And yeah, his Brazilian internet had something to say about it. And so I got all his stuff. But like, I shouldn't have. I had no right to have that stuff in my inventory simply because the internet done did it. And that was it. Because see, in those days, the way it worked was everybody was running around. This was at the very beginning of the minecart duplication bug. This was the very first dupe that really that turned the server's economy on its ear. And so, no, he was not in creative. He was just very, very, very durable. Because you got to remember, this is before the nerf to protection. And so protection, full Prot 4, was like, you were nigh invincible. The only way someone could kill you is if you both had God Apples, lots and lots of them, and that you could reasonably out-durable their armor. So, obviously, armor breaks at the same durability. And yeah, like it was a matter of who brought the most armor. Simply because your helmet and boots would break first. And so you would bring an additional pair of helmet and boots. And then you would bring 2 or 3 full additional sets. And then you would have a bunch in your ender chest. Obviously, this is pre-shulker box. And that was it. And whoever had the most armor won. That's why Pop Bob, when we killed Pop Bob in late 2013, that's why that was such a big deal. He had stacked armor, which made him effectively invincible because you couldn't wear down all his armor fast enough to not have all your armor worn away and thus lose the fight. And so Sato had no reason other than latency to die. And he died. And it was purely because latency. And it was only because he could not eat a golden apple quick enough. It wasn't because I wore down his armor. That's the exact same reason Pop Bob died at the end of 2013. They got lucky. He lagged the fuck out and couldn't eat an apple quick enough to refresh his regen, resistance, and his absorption hearts in a way to not bite the dust. That was it. That was how you died. If it wasn't because somebody else just happened to bring more armor to the fight than you. Exalted Spartan killed him. You're perfect. You're completely right, Ani. And that's how it happened. He lagged out, and Spartan just happened to be there and was wailing on him good. Couldn't refresh his own regeneration, and that was the end of it. And that's how fights went. And it all changed when the Ender Crystal and the Protection nerf was implemented in 1.9. And a completely brand new, entirely different cancerous meta was implemented. And the rest is her story. How long were fights, Alex? Oh my fucking god, how long were fights? Dude, hours. Hours. You could sit there wailing in a 1v1 on one person for 2 hours. That's how long it would take to run through all their armor. And the worst part of it was, you too would be just as worn down because they would have also sat there wailing on you. And as a result, your armor would go bye-bye too. So, it's the same thing that happens when 2 Bengal tigers fight. One is mortally wounded and the other is killed. So who is really the victor? No one. You ultimately get screwed both ways. And during the height of the minecart dupe, it didn't matter because whatever you lost, you just duped back. But after the dupe, when it was patched, that's when suddenly armor was at a premium because you knew PvP was going to run you 3, 4, 5, however many sets you had on you, all of your sets. And so making new armor was actually kind of important. Or at the very least, not squandering the armor you already had. As well as raiding other stashes to get new armor. That's what made Boat Murdered so important. When I killed all the people at Boat Murdered, like, that was more than just a meme. That was more than just fun. That was actually kind of, you know, survival of the fittest. We needed that stuff. We needed the gold for apples. We needed the gold for golden carrots. We needed the diamond for new armor. We needed all of it. And that was precisely what did it. And yeah, that was how it was. And I was not upset at the loss. I was kind of annoyed with PvP by the end of it because it was cancerous. It was terrible. It was painful. Nobody wanted to sit there and fucking wail on someone for 2 hours. That was so... Ugh. I could not be bothered. There kind of got to be a point where, especially right before 1.9 dropped, or even a little bit into 1.9, when we were just like, we didn't yet know that the crystal was going to be the meta-defining thing. It just became too much of a hassle. You would see people actively avoiding trying to engage in PvP simply because nobody wanted to sit there and fucking, kill aura each other for 20 hours. Nobody wanted to do that. Nobody had time for that. And yeah, like, it was painful. It was awful. How did you manage to be allied with Sato in the first place? So after I killed him, he burst open like a piñata. And he was new, and I knew something was up. And so I basically asked Pyro, and he came right out with it. Yeah, we got a dupe. And I was like, okay, wow, well, that's kind of bold of you. And then Cytotoxic T-Cell showed me the dupe, bless her. And I got in on the dupe. I ran away from Pyro because I was like, I didn't have enough dupe stuff at that time. And then not long after that, the dupe was patched. And so, like, we all just kind of, like a bunch of dragons, we just sat on our treasure hoards, and we would shitpost at each other in chat. And then gradually over time, as I was building, funny enough, as I was building the Sky Temple of Autism. Visit the fan server, by the way. See the Sky Temple of Autism set at spawn. We just kind of hit it off. And from that point forward, Pyro and I, we'd chill. And then I inadvertently set my ass to spawn using the spawn teleport exploit. And from that point forward, I was like, and I had to go meet with Pyro because Pyro and Sato together, because the second incursion was in full force. And so I was like, Pyro, Sato, I've inadvertently stranded myself from my base. We were cool with each other by this point. Is it okay if I base with you guys? And they're like, yeah. And the rest is history. And then we rode back to Valkyria, and we made Valkyria great again. And that was the end of it. And we were friends ever since. Okay, I really like how that looks, but like I feel like it needs a little something more. Gotta wake up at 4 a.m. Okay, take care, Poncho Hamster. Thanks for coming out, man. Wasn't lava buckets a viable strat? Hell no. What do you think the God Apple does, Spinge Bill? You do know the God Apple granted you fire resistance, right? Yeah, fire damage was really annoying. Everyone had fire aspect on their swords, remember. God swords. It didn't do shit. Everybody had God Apples out the wazoo. It was irrelevant. Yeah, you could douse someone in lava, and it would do fuck all because they would immediately pearl right out of it. Or they would just, because you were both standing still, wailing on each other with kill aura, it didn't matter. It did nothing. And that was life. So what can you do? I'm glad it's over. I really am. I'm so glad I don't have to play that cancerous PvP meta. Because let me tell you, it was not fun. That was not a cool meta. It was the meta from the advent of the God Apple all the way to 1.9. That was what? That was 1.3, so that was mid... That was around this time... No, it was August 2012. So from August 2012 to April 2016, the cancerous PvP meta was whoever had the most armor won the fight. Every time. That's how it worked. And then from April of 2016 onward, it was the protection nerf went into effect, so protection no longer made you invincible. And the God Apple was nerfed, and they introduced the End Crystal, and you could kill people in seconds. And it was great for all of 5 minutes, and then you realized, oh shit, this is going to be used against me. And sure enough, it was. Hey, Keezer, how are you, man? When was the last time I logged into 2B2T? Legitimately? Fuck if I know, man. 2020 sometime? I don't even remember where I was or what I was doing. Or, well, actually, I take that back. I do remember where I was now because I logged in when the temp map, or the temp server, or the test server was on the real map. I don't think it is anymore. I don't even think the test server's up. But when the test server was on the legitimate 2B2T map copy, I was flying somewhere in the nether. And so when I logged in, I was in mid-flight. And so I was somewhere near nether spawn, a few kilometers out. And I was like in mid-flight and I crashed into a wall and I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember doing this. And that was it. Oh damn it, I'm in top chat again. Stupid fucking thing. You're good, thanks for asking. Ah, good, okay. Yeah, the test server's down. I thought as much. Who introduced imps? That was a byproduct of 2 separate events. Imps came about organically during the Minecart 1.5 dupe. If you put a single item in a minecart and then tried to dupe it, and then you did a certain something with how you pull it out of the minecart, you would get an item stack of 0. All you would then have to do is put that item stack of 0 into a dispenser or a dropper and drop that shit. Drop it like it's hot. And as long as you have an item stack with a red 0 and you put it in your dispenser, it will dispense it out, and in the item, or in the dispenser, you will have an item stack of -1. At which point, the server will call the cops on you or something, I don't know. And from that day on, that's how imps came about. And then, that shit got patched. Now, a lot of people were intelligent, and they stored it away because they knew it was an illegal item. And when it was inevitably patched, it stayed dead for a little while, and imps were not really usable per se. And then Pyro and Tristan get their backdoor put in late 2013. And in late 2013, there was this little code. That. In Pyro and Tristan's backdoor, all you had to do was take an anvil and any item you wanted and name it this. You would name it some letter of text. So what Pyro would do is for quartz, he would put this and then that. And in doing so, it would make, because of their plugin, it would make the item. So this, in this case, it would be a regular quartz item, a regular quartz block. So this, he would rename it to QTZ, put the hex code there, and that would make the item a -1 stack, I believe. Or it would make it a 0, I forget which. And then they would do what they needed to do to make it an inf. And XCC2 got wind of this, I believe from Tristan himself. And XCC2 went into this on my stream the other day. And he stockpiled a ton of them. Gold, iron, diamond, emerald, glowstone, wood, stone, quartz, the works. XCC2 indirectly, and Pyro and Tristan through their back door, indirectly built Space Valk 1 and subsequently Space Valk 2. Simply because the imps that I got from Pyro and XCC2 are the reason those two builds were even remotely viable. And so they funded it, if nothing else. And so that's how it went down. You knew about the negative thing. Okay, good. You met XCC2 in the game not long ago. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's interesting. I got to interview him. He's a very insightful guy. I like him. I feel bad that he's still sort of stuck on 2B2T, but he likes it enough that he's all right with it. So, you know, it's whatever. Did anyone else ask anything else? Oh, before the God Apple. I think people only used swords before the God Apple. I'm sorry, Spinge Bill, I didn't see that clarification. Yeah, before the God Apple, I'm pretty sure lava was just as good, but it didn't matter because swords were like top tier. With Kill Aura, you were gonna just get absolutely butt-fucked. There was a time where Kill Aura was so powerful that you could hover someone in the air using the knockback from a knockback 2 sword. And you could just keep hitting him over and over and over and over. And the knockback would be so bad, they'd just go bam, 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 and they'd stay pinned in midair. Because anti-cheat really couldn't, like, catch the Kill Aura quick enough. And so, yeah, it was wild. And that was it, pretty much. Actually, I think I'm going to do it this way. Okay, whew, man. Now then, you remember watch Chris built and the client War Champ was trying to get it out of diamond blocks? Oh, yeah. That's old. AVO popularized what now? Nice song reference. Thank you. Thank you, Riolani. I try sometimes. I only try sometimes. It was weird. You're not usually around people who play longer or are older than you. Oh, I know. Hey, MRT. How are you? Hi, Total Remember there's not a second account of someone. Yeah. Walks away from tree. Did I watch Fate or read the visual novel? Oh, yes. I did both. I remember when Fate Stay Night, the anime, came out in 2006. I had just started browsing 4chan. And, you know, I loved anime, so I was like, all right, well, what all good is on this board? And they were going batshit for Fate at the time. And I was like, whoa, what is this? And so I started watching it, like everybody. And it got me into Type Moon, got me into Tsukihime, all that other stuff. Pretty good stuff. And then I got to read the Fate visual novel and realized how much better it was than the actual anime. And the rest is history, basically. I watched all the Unlimited Blade Works adaptations. There were like 2 or 3 of them. I watched Fate Zero. Fate Zero was godly. Oh my god, Fate Zero was so good. I couldn't believe such an awesome adaptation could be made. And, yeah. I'm just glad Fate... I mean, I'm sad how Fate turned out, but I'm glad I had the ability to see it in its heyday, you know? Fate was like... I don't know what their deal was with the Fate franchise. They made it into a damn cash cow. It got so obnoxious how everything was Fate, 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 Fate. And they completely neglected Tsukihime for Fate. And it was just like, you had a perfectly good, grim, dark vampire fantasy that was well thought out and really engaging. And they just do nothing with it for like nearly 20 fucking years. And I was just like, what the hell? There's more to this franchise than just Fate. I get it. This is a really popular concept, but like, do something else. And then by the time Grand Order came out, I was so sick of Fate, I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And I stopped paying attention to Type Moon until like last year. And I'm still really not satisfied with Type Moon because they retconned everything now. And it's a new continuity, and I'm just like, well, fuck me. Getting invested in the old one was worthless. Because the old one was better. And like all the, especially with the Tsukihime remake, all it really does is just say, boy, Tsukihime was originally really fucking tight and cool and interesting. And we'll never see any of that Tsukihime again because it's officially been killed. It has been forced to wear a kilt. It has been killed. And that is that. Also, I hate how lopsided this building feels. It's like... it needs supports around the sides. I think that's what it needs. You know, pillars around this edge here. Yeah, with Fate Go. I know. Fate Zero was great. Loved Kiryu. Oh, he's great. Hate the fact that it... like I said, we never got a proper follow-up to the Fifth Holy Grail, so we never got that Fate Stay Night 2. Which, if they were going to keep milking Fate, that's the direction they should have gone in. The proper conclusion to the Fate Stay Night story. You have Fate Zero setting everything up. You have Fate Stay Night, which is kind of your starting point, and then you have Fate 2 to wrap everything up with a nice, neat little bow on it, and then that'd be the end of it. And then go the fuck on to something else, please. Like, we were supposed to get more Mahotsukai no Yoru. What the fuck happened with that? What about Junk the Eater? What about more Kara no Kyokai? What about Tsukihime? Like, so many good things that just could have been, but were not. And it's like, I don't know. You don't watch anime or general movies, but you did enjoy Castle in the Sky. Ah, well, Castle in the Sky is pretty good. Just because. Now, what'd you say, Mr. Tree? You deleted your comment like a coward. How could you, Mr. Tree? What happened, man? I just wanted to read what you said. Nowadays, company something something is all I got. I've watched the classics like Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I've not watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes. The problem is, I was ruined by Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is the quintessential space opera. And so, like, I compare everything to Deep Space Nine because it's the best space opera. And so other space operas kind of pale in comparison. And I'm just like, ugh. You know, I could just be watching Deep Space Nine. And it isn't even that Legend of the Galactic Heroes is bad. It's just that I'm going to compare it to Deep Space Nine, and well, such is life, I guess. It really is, I know. Companies are just afraid of making any idea, that's why they suffer. Yeah, stuff like AAAs all look the same, I know. There is a severe lack of creativity. Actually, I think I'll not copy it. I'll just manually make it. Me, an average non-anime watcher. You mean a plebeian, Sam? I mean, if you're happy with being a plebeian, sure, go right ahead. To each their own and all that bullshit. But I mean, I think the city deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to them. Joker style. Oh wait, that one has to go straight. No, you just made a typing mistake. That was it. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad you have the courage to say something and stand by it. Joker, that's Jared. Yes, that is so Jared. Now, which Joker is he? Heath Ledger's or Joaquin Phoenix's? Is he, what was his name? Was his name Marv? I don't know. Yeah, media's all stale nowadays. Yep. Yep. Yeah, everything has very much stagnated. Sad, really. Oh well, maybe things will improve at some point. Who the fuck knows? Ledger's, in a way, yeah. Yeah, I get that. Jared has always sort of struck me as Heath Ledger's Joker. Just partially, though. Not fully, but partially. No need to use your other account. Yeah, why were you using another one? Okay, I think we're almost done. Hey, Amion, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, well, I definitely feel drained. My conversations are getting more infrequent. So I think this is where I'm going to end it soon. Whoops. I'm going to end it all right here. Live on stream. I will eat a bullet. I just need a knife and fork. Or would you eat a bullet with spoon? Yeah, you would eat a bullet with a spoon, wouldn't you? Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you tried to eat it with a knife or a fork, I mean, that'd just be silly. Clearly, you'd have to eat a bullet with a spoon. I love this song. Okay. Yeah, I'm not done with this. But, like, it's good enough for, like, right now. I think this needs to be... Like, it needs a fin coming down this side in some fashion. That would kind of help. I don't know. So anyway, so I haven't done this in a while. Let's do a tour with shaders. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. Momentary frame rate stutter. Let's give it a sec. Calm down. Whoa, 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 Minecraft. Whoa, GPU. Calm your tits. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, this is Space Valkyrie as it is so far. I had some idiot comment on a video, I think it was the very first live stream I ever did, of Space Valkyrie. And he was all like, oh my god, are you not done with this yet? And I'm like, dude, it'll be done when it's done. Don't worry about it. And he was like, oh, you're still not finished. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still not finished. I've got so much more to do. Like, yeah, I'm farther along than I've ever been, but like, you think this is a snap your fingers kind of thing and it's just all over and done? Like, I invite you to do this. It's so cool looking. I know, Stone. I know, Stone Cold Killer. I know. Oh, my head is in the glass. So that's why the reflection's gone. Can't believe I haven't finished building its ship from scratch after 5 years. Well, I mean, you know. Sometimes people just get lazy when it comes to dealing with a project. Oh god, I can't look that way. The villagers. Then survival once it's done. No thank you, Rivershen. I'm good. I really do not feel like building this in survival. Even if I turned all of this into a schematic and then built it by block by hand. Even with duplicated materials, no thank you. When I was doing it organically on 2B2T and I was just doing whatever and nobody knew what I was doing because everything was secret, that was a different matter. But now... Hi. Oh yeah, it was a joke. I know it was. Spacefile reminds you of other big Minecraft builds like Greenfield? I've never seen Greenfield, but sure. Can't believe I haven't finished this build military bare my hands for a month. Yeah. I can't believe. Imagine believing. I never finished your sample cobblestone castle after 4 years. You'll have motivation for it in 1 to 2 days, but then forget about it. Yep. You have to force yourself to do it. Like, I hate to say this, you can't rely on the whims of motivation and inspiration. You really kind of do just have to force yourself to make stuff. Because if you don't, you will stagnate and you'll go, well, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, maybe the next week. Maybe I'll blah, 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 blah. And you'll just put it off. And you'll never get anywhere. You'll never do anything. You'll never achieve it. You will never finish. Hell, you might not even ever start. 'Tis what it is. Oh god, that thing still destroys my frame rate. I've got to cull a lot of these villagers. In fact, I think I might do it right now. Because I don't need that many damn farmers. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm tired of these guys existing. Tired of these motherfucking villagers and this motherfucking Space Valk entity. No. Oh, it's type. No. Man, it's way down there. Oh yeah, I guess it would be by, there we go. Yeah, I guess it would be by, alphabetical order. Alright. Do the shaders no longer spaz the fuck out? Yes, they no longer do. Something about rendering entities with shaders was just no bueno. Oh well. We can play pretend there are villagers in here to harvest everything. I really don't know what I was thinking making so damn many villagers. Anyway, so here is today's building in shaders without the intense frame rate drop. Always we watch over the scuttle. Ever seen Jacktherippa? Wasn't that a spiritual successor to Jumanji? Huh. Rip any named villagers? I don't... Oh, fuck, there were. Oh, there were renamed villagers. Oh, in the iron farm. I forgot about that. Shit. Okay, well, I'll just have to go back and... I can fix that part at least. Oh, well. How much iron? Not a whole lot, honestly. I guess this thing's not been running. Okay. Does the iron just not reach? Like, surely it does, right? Does it just take time to get through? Huh? Why did that not drop an ingot? Huh. Maybe it's the fact that the lava destroyed it. I don't know. Decent Jumanji style ripoff. Ah, no wonder. One scene where they deletes out Saturn and they're really close. Oh. I'll just use campfires instead. Because I've got soul campfires. Although that's going to be a real particle nightmare, but oh well. Can't afford to douse it, I need the flame. Okay, well, this place looks much nicer. Don't know how auto-in deletes... Oh, I don't know. Weird. Well, whatever. Alright, guys. This is it. We're kind of getting close to, I don't know, I'm probably going to put another 2 or 3 buildings over this way, and maybe 1 or 2 over this way, and then other tiny bits and bobs of things. And just other mini things like that, you know? We have a long way to go, but we'll get there, I promise. But other than that, well, I was trying to just pull it in gently to myself. Other than that, oh fuck. We will be rip-roaring and ready to go tomorrow for hardcore. You all take care. Thank you all so much for coming out and giving me a moment of your time. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and all the other relevant junk out there. And, oh yeah, join the Discord down below. We have a fan server opened up that I join on every now and then when I get the moment. And other than that, thank you all so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.